Hiroshima and Nagasaki introduced us to the militant wing, to the militant aspect, the military aspect of the age of fission. And this is, I'm going to post this on the 9th of August. My reflections, my thoughts, my feelings are with the victims of that degenerate, barbaric expression of human intelligence manifested in the technology called the atom bomb, a degenerate social order, political system called, at the time, the United States of America, along with many other atrocities committed during the Second World War, but none was as ignominious as the beginning of the militant side of our age, the age of fission. I've talked about this. Check out my videos, and my thoughts are with the victims. And I have been making what feel like, to me, behind me you can see what appear to be kind of a hieroglyph, an almost Japanese type of writing. It's a spontaneous kind of writing, dedicated, a feeling that I've been letting build in me over the last few months, that represent a feeling I have about the circumstances that happened 72 years ago on this date, August 9th. And people have posted, people of conscience have posted videos on Hiroshima on August the 6th. The second bomb was dropped on August the 9th on Nagasaki. And I want to applaud people that recognize this time, this date in history. It's very important for us to reflect on this, because I have a sense, I have a feeling that time is not an issue when it comes to this mysterious part of us, that which is in continuity. Eternity is something that I have somewhat of a romance. I feel a romance with eternity, and reflections and thoughts on people, especially people, vulnerable people, people that suffer, elevate us within this eternity. It allows us to join, because in suffering there is a feeling and sense, the way I perceive this, a sense of humility and connection. Why is it that there is an innate desire to protect the vulnerable? And my reflections on this ignominious state, the militant side of the age of fission was introduced, and now we are also suffering primarily from the passive, the peaceful nuclear atom, the passive version, which is much more insidious because you don't see it, smell it, taste it. The way people experience the explosions, the dramatic effect, the burning of skin, the immediate annihilation. And it was not a firestorm. People say, well, it's not, atom bombs don't exist. Right, exactly. The denial. And if I listen to the deniers, the Fukushima deniers, and the deniers that still want to deny that we live in the age of fission, and that a magnificent body of water is being destroyed by the continuous releases, the radioactive releases from this blown up nuclear plant called Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant, 3 full core meltdowns. So there is a continuation. There is a continuation since, what I say, 1938, when they split the atom. Lees, Meitner, Hahn, Strassman Hahn, the people that were responsible to get this ball rolling with their intellect, with their brilliance. You see, with their brilliance, we attach ourselves to the idea that intellect will resolve all problems. It's not going to work that way. For whatever reason, logic and reason should actually be that which we use our mind, our thoughts, to direct us in a life, in a worldview that works, but it's not working. I've been saying it's not working. So why attach yourself to the principle of people that have supposed intellect, brilliant people that that get it wrong. They get it wrong all the time. And then we put white coats. The white coats walk around and grab our attention and run the show, or are put in place to run the show by some very devious people. So my shout out today is with the victims of the tragedy that occurred 72 years ago, and all the victims since then that have been subjected to the nuclear fallout and the isotopes, the exotic isotopes that are saturating our environment, and we have no defense for them. Not as far as I know. If there is a defense, I'd like someone to come and to tell us, and we have means and ways of mitigating some of the problems, but once these lethal, toxic elements enter our body and we can't get rid of them, they eventually will kill all of life on this planet, unless we stop them, So I'm dedicating my work, my thoughts, and try to join. And the way I feel I can join is by having the thoughts, these waves that emanate from me. My work isn't just a physical object. They are literally waves that emanate out of me. I think this is a very misunderstood. Very few people understand this. It's kind of like people that are able to read an aura that a lot of people just can't see. I've actually experienced some of that to some extent, of being able to see, perceive colors and auras around people. And then I try to turn them into my version of that and make paintings. Like I'm making these hieroglyphs behind you that appear to be Japanese in a certain way. Those letters, the language, the written language, the Oriental language. And what I would like to just end on is say at this time that I realize the level of frustration and anger rises as we see the injustice march parallel or walk beside us, that we are being abused, especially people that are vulnerable are abused and no one speaks for them. And we feel the frustration and the anger. And a result, what happens if you are a person of conscience, there is a natural outcry. We are insulted. We are completely devastated by having this injustice done to all of life, not just to us, but to all of life. And my thoughts on this as well is that the vulgarities, the insults, the level of vicious interaction will counter the accomplishments that we can actually make. So I have shifted in my own presentations. It doesn't mean because I don't show my anger as obviously anymore that I'm not angry about this, but I need to channel this feeling into something that I am actually to disseminate that becomes part of a solution. We need to channel this into something that will actually create an inspiration in others, rather than, what is that? It's sort of like the French Revolution. It inspired people to want to chop people's head off. And what happens after that is the old boss and the new boss. Isn't that a song by The Who? Yeah. Old boss, new boss. So we can't afford to have a new boss like the old boss. We literally have to reestablish the dominance of our spirit, of our conscience within society in order to actually make a difference. In the future, if we have a future, this is what's totally required. And this animosity, this level of expressing something through our frustrations, rightful anger, righteous anger. However, the direction of this has to come so we don't end up with the same boss again. This is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling, and I'm dedicating this video to the victims of Nagasaki. I know they are included in people that post on August the 6th, but I want to do it on August the 9th. And I just want this sense of being aware on this medium, on this medium of YouTube, or in exhibitions that I have, that I do. I want this feeling to emanate out of me of awareness about something. And I think everybody can have a part in this in their own way, to emanate that sense of awareness, of knowing, and of empathy, and feeling for and feeling with. I think that is really important.